Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Silent Core, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about the behind the scenes November that was just released today, and also a few other things. So, as you'll see on the screen, I've just activated a refer a friend bonus, which basically you get when you refer another account to be members. And I actually totally forgot I had this. I had this from my Hero Dan account, if you guys remember my series where I made up little range accounts with all my roommates, and we all Debo spec them at once, and it was pretty fun. And I had membership on that account, obviously. So I never actually used my Refer a Friend XP bonus. So I decided to use that, and I'm just going to use it on Dungeoneering, I guess. So I'm going to have to Dungeoneer my ass off in the next week. I'm 109 at the moment. I have no idea how much XP or how far I'm going to get in a week. But I'm going to be Dungeoneering as much as I can. I've also got 109 mil, I think, left from cash. And I have no use for that cash except for to buy floors, to be honest. So it will be no loss for me. I mean, what can I use money for? There's nothing else I can really spend money on except for buying floors. And I'll let you guys leave comments and ask me why I buy floors from Sell Dunge, and I'll be honest, Sell Dunge aren't the fastest clan. Like, if you're looking for fast floors, I'd choose a different clan, but I choose them because they're the cheapest. Like, you won't find cheaper floors than them. Like, you can get, I think, 1.5 abandons, and I always buy my warps as well because I'm really bad at warp floors. Like, I don't really mind doing abandons or occults, but I can never do warp floors. Like, I find them really difficult, and I always end up getting deaths on the bosses, so I'm better off just buying those, and I don't mind spending a little bit more to get my warps. So onto the behind the scenes November, and I got to be honest, I was quite pleasantly surprised about this behind the scenes month. So basically, behind the scenes is all the updates that are going to happen this month, and so I'll go through them in order. The first one is the Tears of Gothics, and it's been absolutely forever since I've been there, so I decided to go there just to show in this video kind of what it is if you guys have never been there. So basically, after you've completed the Tears of Gothics quest, you can go here once a week and talk to the little snake, and you go in and you collect the blue tears, and the more blue tears you get, the more XP reward you get after they're done. So it's just a very quick, it takes literally like a minute or two to complete, and then you get a little chunk of XP. Now, this used to be really popular. I used to really like this as a low level, because it's only really worth it as a low level. You're only going to be getting a few K XP, and that goes into your lowest skill. So when your skills are all, say, around 20 or 30, or even when your skills are like 60, like I think I trained to 60 Slayer using Tears of Gothics. But I mean, that was years ago, and that was one of the only XP reward things you get. Now we have the Squeal of Fortune lamps, you have penguins, bonus XP weekends. All these XP updates make things like the Tears of Gothics not very worthwhile. I think that's why people don't really use it. So what they're doing is they're giving it a graphic rework and updating the XP rewards, making it much more rewarding to do this. So yeah, maybe people will start coming back here and doing it once a week. That'd be kind of cool. And basically how it works at the moment is the more quest points you've got, the longer you can stay in that the little area of grinding tiers. And they're also going to reward players who have 80 mining and 80 crafting to make a bigger bowl that can catch 5 times more tiers than normal bowl. So you're going to be getting a lot more XP from this. And I hope they're going to change a little bit more about this, because I can imagine how it is at the moment. It's quite frustrating at the moment because it changes so much. And I can imagine if I had 5 times the amount of tiers I could hold in a bowl, and so I had basically 5 times the amount of time in there, it would be even more frustrating with all that time. So hopefully they maybe tweak it a little bit, make it a little bit more fun and not so frustrating, where it changes to green tiers and takes away your tiers. So the next update is Dungeoneering, and they're going to be making Dungeoneering much more rewardable for solo players. And I really think this is something Giant should have done right at the start of Dungeoneering, because I mean, why wouldn't you make Dungeoneering worth it for solo players? Because I gotta say, that's probably one of the worst parts of Dungeoneering, is just finding your teams. Because a lot of times you get stuck with people that you just don't want to Dungeoneer with, and you get really frustrated with them, and then people end up rage quitting, and then you lose XP, you have to leave the dungeon if you get a moats room, there's not enough people in there. So I mean, I guess I was kind of lucky in the fact that I could mention it in a video when I was coming up for bonus XP weekend, and I could be like, hey, does anyone want to Dungeoneer with me? And I had so many people want to Dungeoneer with me. It really was really helpful. I mean, I added about 10-15 people who I still have added now. Actually, I still Dungeoneer with. And there is a reason why I don't Dungeoneer with just random people on the Dungeoneering world. It's because if I come across somebody that doesn't like me, this has happened to me before where I've been on a floor, and right before the boss is dead, they'll say, your vids suck, and then they'll just kick me from the party and I won't get any XP. And it sucks, because, I've been in that floor for like 30 minutes or something like that, Dungeoneering, and I get kicked just because I've made some videos on YouTube that they don't like. It's just stupid. So they did see here that it's still going to be the fastest XP to do it with a team, but they're going to just make it an option for people to do it solo, which I'm happy about. But there's one major disadvantage to this update, and that's the fact of it's going to be so much more worth it for bots. Because right now there's a bot. I'm going to refrain from saying the bot's name, but this bot, you can get a chaotic in just a few weeks of just suiciding with this bot. And the reason this bot is such slow XP is because it's not very worth it to do it as a solo player. So when Jagex are going to change this and make it much more, get more XP as a solo player, get much more XP bonus when you finish the floor, that's going to make this bot get you a lot more XP. So I don't know if a lot more people are going to start using this solo Dungeoneering bot. And you might think Dungeoneering is a really hard skill to make a bot for, but there's already a bot there. The bot's already there. It's already, that bot can complete all the floors. It does the keying. It does high complexity floors. It's all ready there. So as soon as they do this update, this bot's going to be, a really high-end bot. So the next thing is going to be a couple of new quests that's going to come out, and they're going to be replacing another free-to-play, old-school free-to-play quest, Rune Mysteries, which I got to say I'm a little bit sad for. It's kind of nice doing those quests when you start off, but I can see them wanting to make the game a little bit more appealing for new players coming in and wanting to give them a really nice quest experience. Next up is the gravestone improvements. So right now when you die, when you come back to your loot pile, it's just been a massive big pile, and it really sucks if you had a full inventory if you're doing Slay or something, and you get all your good stuff stuck at the bottom of the pile, so you have to pick up all your food or potions. You can't really scroll down to get them, especially if you're running out of time, and then it all disappears. So now we're going to get a big interface to just choose what ones we get, and that's going to be, really useful for bossing, Slayer, and that kind of things. Next is a Make X, and they also said they're going to be adding new interfaces and systems on experience and values of items. So does this mean we're going to get an actual GP per XP for Herblore and Summoning without having to go to fan sites or the wiki? We can actually see it straight in game. That would be pretty awesome. Or are they maybe just going to show us the most efficient methods to train? Or, are they just going to be giving us calculators so you can say, work out how many of this potion I need to make to get to this level? They didn't really specify that up, but I hope they work out something pretty cool that we can use in game, like some sort of calculators or something. It would make sense for Jagex to accommodate that, because when you guys start getting really high in your skills, level 90 plus, you really want to be doing the most efficient ways to train that skill. So it really is nice for them to maybe help us out a bit with that. They also added some new features such as a clean all button to clean all your herbs, so that's going to be kind of handy. The Combat Academy is going to be like a tutorial island for the beta servers. And so the beta servers were supposed to come out in November of this year, but they pushed it back to next year. And I don't know about you guys, but the longer they push this beta back, the more I'm kind of getting used to RuneScape as it is now, and the more I don't want it to happen. Maybe that's just me. And I wonder if when they're going to release it next year, if they're going to release the beta servers at the same time as they're going to release their new game Transformers. Because, they might be just like, hey, if you don't like this game now with the beta servers, you can try our new one. So they finish off the behind the scenes November with a little Solomon Store update. And I don't really like going into these, but this one seemed actually kind of interesting. Not interesting enough for me to buy it, just interesting enough for me to mention it in a video, that is. So it's going to be a new Solomon Store item that you can reskin your items with. So basically that means you can reskin a party hat on your head while you do Slayer. So you'll be wearing your full Slayer helm, and you'll be reskinned so it looks like you're wearing a party hat. So you can look cool while getting the best stats, basically. So I guess it's time for me to invest in a party hat. Oh shit, I don't have enough. Looks like I'm buying a fish mask.
Time for me, and it is never meant to be. Beautiful waste of time for me, and it is never meant to be.